Hello, viewers. Welcome again on Voice of India. As usual, your friend MP Singh is here with a new program for your interest. Today is very special day for Voice of India. Our Member Parliament, Mr. Kevin Lamboureux, is with us on to discuss the issues of farmers' agitation in India. Let me introduce first Mr. Kevin is our member parliament from Winnipeg North since 2010. He is the Parliament Secretary to Queen Privy Council for Canada and the leader of the government of House of Commons. Welcome, Kevin. Let me start discussion on this burning issue of the day. I would like to ask some questions if you allow me to on this platform of Voice of India.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, MP, thank you very much for allowing me to be with you on the Voice of India. I think it's always encouraging when we are able to talk about what are important issues for the community on whether it's radio, internet, and the many different ways in which we communicate. So thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Kevin, my first question is, you are always supporting the community in general and most specifically stand with your constituents on such burning issues. The farmers' agitation is a big issue in India in these days, and your constituents, having big concern over the agitation. How you start, and you start a campaign in favor of your constituents for farmers. What it is, please?
Well, I think what's important to recognize, MP, is that we have in Canada, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people that are of Indo-Canadian heritage. Mm-hmm. For me personally, my Indo-Canadian community is primarily from the Punjab in Winnipeg North, probably about 95%. And I've had the opportunity to travel to the Punjab on many occasions. I know that there are literally hundreds of constituents that I represent that actually have direct family links in the Punjab to farmers. So when issues of this nature come up, we all love our farmers, and to see this, it's obviously upset a lot of people, many of which are my constituents. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure that their voices are in fact being heard. That's my role as their member of parliament.
Yeah. How you inspired to start your campaign of petition to be filed in House of Commons, Kevin? I also received a letter from your office. This is a petition form to be signed by your constituents.
That's right.
How you inspired?
Well, I'll tell you, what inspired me to do the petitions was the fact that whether I was at driving by Garden City Mall, or when I was in Ottawa and I could see the social media here in Winnipeg, where many of my constituents were protesting, and they were wanting me to make sure that their voices were being heard. So one of the ways in which I can assist in that is by saying, here's a petition, sign the petition, and I'll use that petition as a way to stand up in the House of Commons in Ottawa to share with MPs in Canada what it is that's on the minds of my constituents. And this is a very important issue. And so it allows my constituents to be able to have that voice in Ottawa so that they're being listened to. So when they do the driving, or they participate in rallies, or they go to the Garden City Mall to hold up signs and all that kind of stuff, that they know that they're being heard.
Yeah. Mr. Kevin, our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau gave a clear indication that Canada will support the peaceful demonstration in any country or any agitation which is on democratic rights. What is your opinion, please?
Well, I look at India as the world's largest democracy. Mm-hmm. And you can only be a true democracy from my point of view, if you respect the fundamental pillars. And one of those fundamental pillars is to be able to have demonstrations and peaceful protests and to be respectful of them. And when that's not happening, I have concerns with that. It becomes a human rights issue.
Mhm.
For me, it's about democracy. And farmers have a right, whether they're, the farmers a few years ago were protesting in Ottawa, driving tractors down the streets and all this kind of stuff. I support that right to be able to have that. After all, if we are a democratic nation, we should be not only supporting, but also encouraging it. It's a good way for people to express themselves.
Yeah. Kevin, how many signatures you need to file your petition in House of Commons?
The larger the number of signatures that I have, I think the stronger the statement is. I'm hoping to be able to get a few hundred signatures. That will enable me to stand up on a few occasions to be able to raise the issue. People have a choice, whether, because I've mailed out quite a few of those petitions, they can just sign it and mail it back to me. They just got to put it in the mailbox. They don't have to put on postage, or they can drop it off at my constituency office on Mandalay. If they want to go out and get signatures, the more signatures I have, the better it is. But either way, I'm sure that I'll get enough signatures to be able to present it. But obviously, the more, the better.
Is this petition for only your constituent, or anyone who is in Canada can sign and file this petition?
Anyone in Canada can actually sign my petition. But having said that, the primary reason I'm doing this is because I want to ensure that my constituents are being heard on this very important issue.
Yeah, you took a lead, Kevin. How many other member parliament from your party or the other parties are taking such initiatives?
Well, I don't know in terms of what other MPs are doing at this point in time. I suspect that there would be some interest. We all do things in different ways. For me, it's all about ensuring and respecting what I believe my constituents want me to do, and that's to help them be their voice. And I take that very seriously, and using the petitions is one of the ways in which I can ensure that takes place.
Kevin, 800,000 farmers are sitting on different borders of capital of India, Delhi.
Yes.
And how long? It's a big number. What is your message to the farmers who are agitating for their rights and who are asking to the government of India to repeal the 3 laws which were made last 4 or 5 months before?
The message I would give is one of concern and respect. I can appreciate everything that they are doing, and to as much as possible ensure that it remains the protests and the demonstrations remain peaceful, because at the end of the day, the world is watching, and countries like Canada, United States, there's so many people that are there supporting what it is that the farmers have a right to do, to express those concerns. We love our farmers. The farmers are what put food on our table, and so they should be encouraged to know that the world is watching, and they support the need for peaceful demonstrations and protests to be respected. We need to listen to our farmers.
Very good. Last question, please.
Yes.
What is the last day to sign this petition form and to drop in your office in Mandalay or your office at Ottawa?
Well, I go back to Ottawa in a couple weeks. I'd like to be able to take them back with me, as many as I can back with me.
Oh, okay.
So
What is the last day?
Yeah, so people can drop them off, let's say by January 18 at my office. I'll take them back to Ottawa.
Okay.
Outside of that, there is no deadline. So they can continue to get more signatures. The more signatures, the better there is. I suspect if I was to put in a final deadline, I would say I'd probably want it no later than the end of March.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Cavan, for giving us a chance to having you on Voice of India and discuss in detail on farmers' agitation. We really appreciate your initiative to prepare a petition to be filed in the House of Commons on farmers' agitation in India. Thank you very much again, my friend.
Thank you for the invite, MP, and do
Thank
take
you.
care and stay safe.